I want to say it was late 2008, sometime in the fall, when I first got wind of this next phone, and it just really got my attention because of its stunning design. And the phone was the Palm Treo Pro, which I want to say was the last and greatest Windows Mobile powered smartphone from Palm. And that's why I'm going to be talking about it in this video right now. So the Palm Treo Pro was first released in late 2008, I want to say, but it didn't come out here in the US until March of 2009, and it was with Sprint. And obviously you could tell this model that I have is the Sprint version, so CDMA. And when it came out, it had a $200 on contract cost. It was also Palm's fourth Windows Mobile smartphone in the Treo line, and it replaced the Sprint Treo 800W. Now, I kind of want to run down some of the key specs of the Treo Pro. So it has built-in GPS. It's powered by a Qualcomm dual-core processor. It has 300 megabytes of ROM, 128 megabytes of RAM. It's running Windows Mobile 6.1 Professional. Features a 2.5-inch 320 by 320 resistive touchscreen. It supports micro SD cards because there is a slot. Built-in Bluetooth, you have a 2-megapixel digital camera in the back, you have Wi-Fi, and it has a 1500 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, and there is also an infrared port, so you could use that to quickly transfer files from one device to another. Sure, by today's standards, the 2.5-inch screen is tiny, but still usable. Granted, every now and then you would probably use the included stylus to actually interact with Windows Mobile, but I found it to be usable, and you could still use your finger to touch stuff. You could type stuff up too. Speaking of typing, the keyboard here, it follows after the Palm Centro, and the thing that really stood out to me about the Palm Centro's keyboard was that it was just ridiculously compact. It was tiny, there was no spacing in between poor travel. It was just a horrible typing experience, but I get why they did that, because they wanted the phone to be really tiny. But the Treo Pro does a little bit better with its keyboard. There's a little bit more travel with the keys themselves. They're raised, so they are a little bit more distinctive. And even though it's not the best keyboard, I think it's a good keyboard given the overall size of the device. Even though I never got the chance to use the Palm Treo Pro as my daily driver, the single thing that really attracted me to it is the design. It's just beautiful. It's also the sleekest Palm smartphone to be released. And it has this piano black finish, which made it stand apart from the other smartphones. The design kind of follows after the Palm Centro, but there are some key things to note here. It's sleeker, like I said. The Centro was super compact, but I thought that it was just a little bit too cramped for my liking. The Palm Treo is just a nicer form factor, still pocketable. Holding the hand compared to today's smartphones, it's pretty compact, but that black finish, it made it stand out more than some of the other Windows Mobile smartphones at the time. So one crazy thing about the Palm Treo Pro, most people probably forgot about it, but this phone was actually designed by HTC. They were the original design manufacturer for this phone, and kind of makes sense because it's a good looking smartphone. For Palm, when you look at Palm and the other devices before the Treo Pro, they were a little bit on the bulky side. They didn't have the slick aesthetics. The colors were a little bit more neutral, as I'd say, but they took a really good gamble, and the final product here with the Treo Pro is just fabulous. It looks stunning. The size, the build quality, it's a gorgeous phone in every way. And the sad thing about the Palm Treo Pro was that it was the last and final Windows Mobile smartphone from Palm, because after this, they just went full WebOS with the Palm Pre, and you kind of see where the Pre got some of its design from. The similarities are right here with the piano black finish, but this phone also comes at the time of the iPhone, the original iPhone. It came out in 2007. This came out a year later in 2008, so not only was it competing with that smartphone, but all the other Windows Mobile phones at the time as well. And because of that, it was overlooked. And that is it for my quick video history here on the Palm Treo Pro. I'll be featuring a different device maybe next week, but we'll see. So please take a look at some of the other videos I've done, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.